guys, welcome to my apartment hunting vlog. This is finally happening. Hopefully by the end of this video I'll find an apartment, but if not, at least I'll be sharing some useful tips and my journey with you. And at this point I think I'm an expert in moving, especially in Los Angeles, because this is my apartment number 9 probably. So yeah, I've been there, done that. Each time is a bit different and each time is more stressful. This year is definitely way more difficult than all the previous years, but it's not impossible, okay? For me personally, it gets more difficult because my demands get higher. Like I started from liking basic lofts to now where I really need this architecture. I need my apartment to feel like me. The easiest way to do is go on apartments.com and you have a bunch of new apartments you can choose from. I personally don't go this route, so if you're into more unique apartments, then this is the video for you. Our journey starts online. I personally use Zillow.com, but sometimes you can also find cute apartments on Facebook Market. And if you're looking for an apartment with a roommate, then I think Facebook Market is the way to go. But I personally want to live alone at this point of my life, so I'm gonna go on Zillow. And my tip number 1 is get as cozy as possible, because it is a stressful and long process and you just want to make it as pleasant as possible for yourself. My next tip is make a list of things you're looking for in an apartment versus the things you're willing to overlook. For me personally, I'm looking for a 1-bedroom apartment that is aesthetically my style because I do work from home, has lots of light and nice views from the windows, and is more than 900 square feet because I do have a lot of clothes and I do need some storage. Some layouts are very weird, like you have a lot of space but the storage is not really there, so you do have to tour and actually check it out. What I'm personally looking to overlook is the age of the building. I'm fine with an older building. I'm also okay if it doesn't have an AC, if I have to install my own unit. Also okay with shared laundry, and fine with not having a dishwasher. So that's a lot, and that gives me some good options for older buildings. For me, as I mentioned, aesthetics are very important. I'm looking for something charming, and if you're also into that type of rentals, then I recommend making a mood board of things that you want to see in your apartment. Obviously don't go crazy because you are in LA. You're not gonna find a Parisian loft style apartment here in LA, but you can find Spanish colonial, or you can find Victorian buildings or mid-century modern. So just know what you're looking for style-wise. As I said, having a Pinterest board helps, or you can even search up some apartment tours on YouTube, which will inspire you. As for the areas, that's a whole other topic. I don't want to really recommend you where to live. It also depends on your work and your university, if you're going to university. So that is on you fully. But if I have to advise, I'd say avoid Hollywood and downtown because it's kind of dangerous, kind of dirty and noisy. I personally don't love those areas. And another expert tip I can give you is connected to the styles of apartments. If you're into mid-century, then look into Los Feliz, Silver Lake, and Hollywood Hills. If you prefer Spanish colonial, then Beverly Hills, Beverly Grove, and sometimes even West Hollywood. If you're into Victorian, I'd say move towards Pasadena, which is a bit further but is a very cute area. And lastly, if you're into modern and high-rise buildings, then downtown, Silver Lake, and Koreatown would be a place to go. There's also some modern buildings in Hollywood that are fairly affordable, but I honestly dislike this area the most. When I was younger, I believed moving around is so fun, but when you're an actual adult and you actually have to deal with the process of moving, you realize it's not fun at all. Even more so, it's very, very stressful. I had so many mental breakdowns during my moves, and even till this day, I suffer the consequences of being unprepared mentally for the moves. This one time, I stopped posting for a whole month. I just disappeared because I couldn't keep up. Like, it was too stressful. And as I said, till this day, I'm suffering the consequences. It really took a big toll on my career and my whole life, honestly. So this time I promise I'm gonna do things differently. I'm not gonna let myself unravel. And I'd like to mention that this portion of the video is sponsored by BetterHelp. As you know, I've been in therapy for quite some time now, and having someone to talk to during this really difficult time of your life is very important, because when you're going through this by yourself, you just feel so lost. I remember thinking that I will never find a place to live, even though it's technically impossible. Like, sooner or later you'll find a place, but it's still so stressful, and some days I just felt hopeless. And it's good to get a reality check. It's good to talk to someone to know that you're not completely alone, that everything will be okay. Talking is really important. I personally don't like to complain to my friends or to my parents, especially because I don't want to hear opinions. I just want to vent. In case you guys don't know, BetterHelp is a platform where clients and therapists can communicate effectively and get the most out of therapy. Starting therapy is actually not that scary and difficult as many might think. All you need to do is fill in questionnaire, and based on those answers, they will match you with a therapist. And if for some reason you don't like your therapist, just like with the apartments, you can just look around, switch them up until you find the one. If you're into journaling, they also have a journal on the platform where you can write down your personal reflections, and they also offer group sessions on different topics every day. They make sure that therapists on their platform are all well qualified, and their customer support team is there to answer any questions you have. If you'd like to try therapy and think you could benefit from it, then make sure to check the link down below. Or you can also go to betterhelp.com/RuslanaG and get 10% off your first month therapy. Now, let me walk you through all the apartments that I viewed. So, first apartment I viewed was stunning. It had 2 bedrooms, which is crazy because it was going only for 28,800. Okay, what the hell. It was beautiful, it was everything I wanted and more, but it got TikTok famous, so there was a lot of applications and mine just didn't make it. Okay, sad, but had to move on. That happens. A lot of landlords don't like self-employed people, especially if they're old school. Be ready that most of them think that self-employment is not an actual job. Next apartment I viewed was my personal favorite. I liked it because it was spacious. The view from the windows were trees, which makes me feel happy because I like seeing greenery, and it was just a really cute apartment. But this one I also didn't get because, as I said, older generation, they're difficult. They don't think I can afford it, which is obviously not true. I could afford it, and in fact I lived in a very similar unit 2 years ago, which was rented to me from a company. When you're working directly with a landlord, for some reason I found out that it's way harder than working through a company. Next, I toured this surprisingly cheap apartment, which was 1 bedroom. It was pretty spacious, but not enough for me. Literally did not have that many closets, but I have a lot of clothes, so that's a must. It was a cute apartment for the price especially, but just because it's so cheap makes me wonder what's wrong with it, you know? Could be cockroach infestation, mold infestation, I don't know. I just want to trust my intuition. Next one I toured is very cute. One thing that really disappointed me is the kitchen. In the photos that they showed, they had those original yellow tiles, vintage ones, and then they replaced them with the gray countertops. My sworn enemies. I wanted to cry when I saw it, but still, it's a cute place. It has a really nice fireplace, gives like French vibes. I didn't love the views because it was facing trash cans and all that not very pleasant stuff, but it wasn't like completely terrible, so I'm thinking to apply to that one. Next apartment I toured was very pretty. The views were really nice, and overall it was a good apartment. Even had laundry in unit and I think central AC if I'm not mistaken. But the price was a bit too high. Reasonably, this apartment shouldn't be priced that high. I've seen similar units that also had all of those things in them, like AC, washer, dryer, that went for way less, so I don't know. Next apartment I viewed was in Larchmont area, which is close to Hollywood, and I really don't like Hollywood. I don't want to live in Hollywood. I already had my experience living there and I hated every second of it. But Larchmont is a little bit further, so it's more clean, more nice, so I gave it a try. The apartment itself was very pretty. As you can see, the details and everything, it's very interesting looking, but it was also too small for me. It almost felt like I was suffocating inside of it, so I passed on that one as well. And this last apartment is my second favorite. I liked it a lot. It looked way better than in pictures. The only problem with this one is that it doesn't have an AC, it doesn't have a washer, it doesn't have a dryer, it doesn't have a dishwasher. Like, basically it doesn't have anything, but price is the same as every unit that does have all of these stuff. But it is quite large. The layout is really nice, makes you feel very cozy, a lot of closet space, so I did like it. I feel like I'm willing to work on it. It does have a shared laundry in the building, which is not preferable, but like, you know, I feel like I could make it work. So I'm gonna apply to this one. I did view some modern buildings. I'll insert clips here, but I really don't remember the details because I wasn't really impressed by them in the first place, so I didn't write anything down about them. Once again, I convinced myself that I'm not into modern buildings, even though my New York apartment I really loved, but it just was different. Even though it was modern, it had some architectural things about it. For example, the view itself, when you see a whole Manhattan in front of you, that makes it worth it. But those were just boring white buildings, made me feel like I'm entering someone's office, so I wasn't impressed. Another thing that I think is worth mentioning is that if you're applying to multiple buildings, multiple places, which I think you should be doing because you never know if you will get a denial or approval, you should save all your information in a PDF file. That way you can just copy and paste, because it takes a long time to fill in all these applications and it gets really annoying. So if you have it already, it will make the process much easier. Trust me, just do it. And yeah, that's it for today. I hope this video will be helpful, guys. Thank you so much for watching.